So tell me about yourself.
Hi, my name is Anjali Mundayat. I'm an incoming freshman at Drexel, where I'll be majoring in biology with a minor in neuroscience on the pre-med track. And I was also a Girl Scout. I actually did my Gold Award on spreading awareness about the different careers in the STEM field, and I taught a biology camp for girls over the summer last year. Other than that, I play field hockey. I love reading books, especially the Harry Potter series, and yeah.
So have you had any experiences that relate to body image that you would like to share?
Growing up, especially in my middle school years, I was a very petite and really, really skinny girl. And I think one thing that people don't understand about body images is that calling someone either too skinny or too fat can be an insult. Actually, commenting on anyone's body type at all is an insult. And I remember when I was younger, especially in Indian culture, I feel like a lot of parents go out of their way to talk to you and be like, oh my god, you're so skinny, why aren't you eating, here, let me feed you something. Or on the other hand, you'll have aunts that will come up to you and just be like, oh, you've gained a lot of weight, are you hitting the gym, have you been practicing and working out a lot. And so I feel like personally with my own body growth, I was extremely skinny, and a lot of aunts and my mom too, and my grandma, whenever anyone came over, that would probably be the first thing that they would say to you. And growing up, I don't think that's one thing that you want to hear, or you want to be part of a family friend party and all of a sudden an auntie's coming up to you and telling you that you're too skinny or that you should eat more. And it's honestly not something that you can control, because your body type is your body type, and at a young age, if you're introduced to something like that, then you're never going to learn to love yourself, because people are always going to find an insult. And then I guess towards my junior year, I obviously put on a lot more weight, and to me that never seemed like a bad thing. And I would say that I was happy with my body, but then people started telling me that I've put on weight, and they would never say it in a good way, even though it should be a good thing, because before you call me super skinny. And so I guess over the time of my high school experiences, it's always been very, very hard for me to understand why there's this ideal body type and why I never fit in, because you're either too skinny or you're too chubby or you're putting on too much weight, and I guess you can never satisfy the people around you.
Yeah. So what do you think is the cause of eating disorders?
I think it depends on your culture, and I'd very well say in the Indian culture especially, it comes from pressure from family and people around you, because people tend to be really expressionate about their opinions and their feelings. And if you're at this point in a relationship where you think you're open with someone, I think they believe that it gives them the right to criticize anything about your body. And I think it comes down to a very psychological thing, that if people around you that you love and care about say something about you, you're going to want to change it, or you're going to think that you're not as beautiful as you are. And reality is that you're so much prettier than you think you are.
So empowering.
Yeah.
Do you believe a person's lifestyle has a direct impact on their health?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, in a teenage society, there are so many other outside pressures that influence your health. And I think, the moment that you seep into peer pressure, especially drinking or this new thing of juuling and vaping, anything affects your body. And so, I think it's for girls especially, if they do something to look cool, they're not realizing that a lot of things that they do affects their body directly. You won't see an effect in your body right now, but you'll see it in the years upcoming, and you'll realize that let's say this drooling thing, it hurts you when you breathe, and you get to a point where, let's say you are working out and you are trying to change something about your body that you don't like, and you're working out, you're going to get exhausted way more easily than any other person, just because you're putting your body through something that isn't good for you. And obviously, for me, I think any body type is beautiful, and I think that should be the norm, and I think that people should understand that. But if you don't like something about yourself and you want to change it, then I think the way that society has brought us up and saying it's okay to do this, you'll only feel the effects of something negative in the years when you're 30 or 40. I don't think that's how society should work per se. Yeah.
What's your opinion on the following statement? Eating disorders aren't that serious.
I think it's complete nonsense. Like, I think that anything that affects you psychologically and anything that makes you feel not as confident as you're supposed to be is like something that completely deteriorates your health. And I don't think it's a very known thing that like eating disorders don't just come from like one person saying something. It comes from a lot weighing down on you, and it's a very like psychological thing. Like it's like a game, for instance, like you want to lose this weight, but you're not losing it because you yourself want to, you're losing it because other people want you to. And so eating disorders are extremely important, and I think it's really important that if you notice yourself leaning towards something like that, or you see a friend doing it, you should definitely like reach out to someone and make sure that that person is okay and that you're okay.
Do you think cultural beliefs and the media have an effect on the development of eating disorders, and how so?
Yeah, I mean, I already spoke about like being Indian and how that has somewhat affected me, but I think media itself is something that's like huge, that affects you like anything. Like for you to watch a TV show and to see like your favorite character is this like skinny petite girl, then you yourself are like, oh, like if this girl in the movie is like getting a boy or a girl or falling in love with someone, then like obviously I'm not getting that because I'm not as skinny as that person or I'm not as pretty as that person. And so I think that like the way that media portrays this like ideal beautiful person or like models or things like that, like it really affects how a girl from a young age sees themselves. Because if you grow up seeing this like movie star to be this perfectly pretty girl and like extremely skinny and like has the body style that like society likes, then I think you're gonna be like more upset that you're not that person. And like it's a known fact that no one is exactly that body type. Like you either work out to get there or you just like you deprive yourself of the right nutrients to get that skinny. Or nowadays they have this thing of like being like thick, which means to be like extremely curvy. And so if you're someone that was not skinny and you would think, okay, I could lean more to like that thick side, then it's even harder to get there, because if your body's used to being somewhere in the middle, then you don't know how you yourself fit in society. You're either not the pretty skinny model type or you're not the thick type. And I think like while society has tried to change and media has tried to change the outlook and by saying like you can be thick or skinny, they're always forgetting that majority of the kids aren't in there. Like the majority of the kids don't fall on either side of the spectrum. They're very much in the middle. And like every body type is unique to a person. You could have a big butt and no boobs, or you can have boobs and no butt. Like in that way, it does like your body type is very specific to you.
Right. So how do you think eating disorders can be combated?
I think it's, like I said before, it's a very psychological thing. So I think the moment that a child or a person stops feeling that pressure to look different, and the moment they start like caring for themselves and seeing that like everyone else thinks you're beautiful, you are beautiful, then I think it will change. But I do think it's something that will take a long, long time. And of course, like you can't instantly change the way society thinks of people. I mean, from like the 1800s, people have been thinking that this certain type of human, this certain type of person is the best person. So I think it's going to take a lot of effort from within for you to see that you yourself are perfect. And if you look at a mirror and you can't see that there's like, you can't say one good thing about yourself, then you know that you should probably like either seek help or like talk to others and talk to your friends. Because I'm sure if like not like I would never ever say any of my friends aren't perfect, like that sense. So you should, like a community as a whole should take an active step towards showing girls that regardless of who you are, your hair color, your eye color, your body type, you're perfect anyway.
You're so empowered. Do you think there's enough awareness about eating disorders, and what else can we do to raise awareness?
I mean, in school we spend like our health unit on eating disorders and just going through like different types of them. I think the difference that needs to be made though is to show girls that like you don't need to do any of these things to be perfect. I think it comes from something within. Like of course there's awareness, and of course a lot of kids growing up do know about these things, but I think that you just have to raise awareness that every body type is unique. Like promote every body type rather than saying there's anorexia, bulimia, and this is what happens to kids who indulge in such eating disorders. Mm-hmm. But rather say like hey, this girl is beautiful, this girl is beautiful, this girl is beautiful. There's no need for you to do any of these things. So like sort of battle it in a different way rather than just saying like these are the disorders, you don't want to indulge in them because you'll lose your nutrients in your body, something will happen, blah blah blah.
Last but not least, do you have any final thoughts on the subject in general?
I think for any young girl out there, I think it's very important. Like for me, I personally think that body types and the way that you are comes a lot from your culture and who you are. And for me, if like the media never shows like a strong Indian girl like in TV shows and stuff like that, so I think that any culture, and especially to like the Indian girls that are like me that have like aunts coming down, like you should really know that like regardless of what anyone says to you, and it's so much easier said than done, that you are beautiful and that what you think is wrong within yourself, no one else sees it. And if there's someone criticizing you, then you should realize that maybe they're insecure about something and they want to change it, and they think that it's okay to say something to you because they'll feel better about it. So just know you're beautiful.
Aw, thank you for sharing.
Yes, of course.